I'm not one to throw around the term Renaissance man for just anyone, but my next guest isn't just anyone. Actor Alan Cumming may be best known for his eclectic collection of roles on the big screen, on TV, and on stage, from movies like Jane Austen's Emma and the Spy Kids series, to the shows The Good Wife and Instinct, both on CBS, and of course, his Tony-winning role as the MC in Cabaret. I saw him in that. But you may not know, Cumming is also an author, a director, a producer, a singer, an activist, and a businessman with his own New York City bar and bar of soap, both named after him. Plus, he's hosted a talk show, appeared in a Jay-Z video, advocated for Scottish independence, LGBT rights, Bernie Sanders in the 2016 presidential election. I'm running out of time. Then there are his many honors, including the Tony, a Drama Desk Award, a Laurence Olivier Award, several dozen humanitarian awards, and his Officer of the Order of the British Empire, just to name a few, not to mention his gig here at GBH as the host of Masterpiece Mystery. After shoots for the show's current season, Cumming joined me yesterday. Alan, it's an honor to meet you. I love this. So when someone is so good at one thing, as you are, I always wonder why people like that decide to do so many things. Do you ever think about that?
No.
Good.
Because I sort of feel like all the things I do are kind of the same thing in terms of the work stuff. Like I feel like I'm a storyteller and I tell stories in different ways. Even my bar, actually, I'm sort of trying to create an atmosphere and trying to create a place that people will have an experience in. So I don't really see them as very diverse as they
Did
might
I hear
seem.
no mean talk? Is that what I read about the bar? Is there something like that?
Oh, totally. I mean, kindness is like, if there's any unkindness,
out the door?
You're out.
I love that. Now, let me tell you, you don't know this about me, obviously, because we just met. My two dreams are either to be the clue or the answer in a New York Times crossword puzzle, or to be the host of Masterpiece Mystery. Neither,
I've done them.
Wait, had any chance of it ever happening until I saw that you were generous enough to give advice to people like me. Here it is.
What I do to prepare to host Masterpiece Mystery is I stand on the mark like this, and I look at the camera and the teleprompter's going up, and I read the lines in a mysterious way, and I walk in this direction. You see, this helps guide me which direction I should walk in. I get to this point, and I usually do a turn, a mysterious turn. And then I walk towards this mark, and it comes to an end, and I sort of do this.
It's all about the eyebrows, right? Is it all about the I mean, tell me the truth.
It really is about the eyebrows. It's such a weird thing, actually, because it's kind of an old-fashioned thing. There's no other shows anymore that have a host sort of telling you about them. But the fact they are mysterious shows, I think it works that I come out of the shadows and kind of raise my eyebrows.
Would you think it was presumptuous of me, since we really don't know each other, if I got your feedback on my attempt to do a variation on that?
Go ahead.
Okay, a couple of months ago, I was interviewing the two lawyers who are the star of Netflix's Making a Murderer.
Oh, yeah.
And I want you to watch the end of this and see if I have potential. Here it is.
The things that seem to outrage people and the questions that we've gotten are things that Dean and I have talked about for years.
Now, what do you think? Is there some potential there? Be honest, don't play with me.
You know, A for effort.
Okay, so that's what I was afraid of. Can we talk, my philosophy, which I have a feeling might be yours.
I was obsessed with your eyebrows now.
Is you can't do the other one, though, I read. Is that true?
I can only do this one.
But you can't do the other one. That's very sad, actually. Okay, my theory is that art changes the culture much more than things like speeches and court decisions do. As everybody knows on Instinct, you're the first openly gay lead of American broadcast drama. Do you buy the notion that Dylan Reinhardt can do more to change this country than all the political speeches? I believe that really strong. You don't?
I tell you what I think. I really believe that, and it's something I've been thinking a lot about recently because of the play I'm doing in New York. There's a lot of issues about this play that I think are very important to be talked about, including things with race, but only 200 people a night are seeing it. And I think of all the little films I've done as independent films about LGBTQ issues, which I'm very proud of and which I know have meant a lot to a lot of people, but they're kind of all preaching to the choir, as is the audience of the play in New York. And I'm much more right now, I guess, because of Instinct. Like millions and millions of people in America will have seen a same-sex couple for the first time, seen them actually just living in a drama.
Just like them.
Just like them. And that's how you change things.
Exactly.
You make people less scared of what they didn't know or feared before. So I don't want to demean or deride the power of great political rhetoric. Because I think when you have a true leader, someone who actually understands the meaning of that word and their words represent that, then I think the inspiration they can give to a country can do...
Who's a true leader in your lifetime?
Obama,
okay.
Definitely.
Can I continue the theme, though, for a second? I didn't get to see Legal Immigrant. And what I loved about this the most from what I read, is you do Uptown and Downtown for 2 weeks on the same night, like racing back. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, in New York I did the Café Carlyle, which is a swanky...
Yeah, I know.
And then I went down, me and my band, we raced downtown to do a midnight show at Joe's Pub.
And so, but it seems to me from just reading about it in the New York Times, that was the same sort of concept, was it not? Basically trying to introduce people to the other, who
yes.
so many of us are so scared of.
Yeah, well, it's also for me, I felt like, I want to make sure that I am seeing a true, holistic view of what my audience is. And it's interesting, I'm like the richest person of my friends, and I actually, when I do a show, I have to think, oh gosh, they probably can't afford to come and see that. So I wanted to be able to, I think it's just good to remember what your friends can afford.
Do you pick apart, when you pick apart like Reinhardt or something like that, do you pick apart in part because of the impact it'll have on people in addition to how much you like the character? Meaning getting back to the Reinhardt thing and cracking people's minds open about people who are unlike themselves.
My reason for doing Instinct was hugely about the fact that it was the first gay leading character in a network drama.
It was.
Hugely. Because I couldn't believe that it was the case, that there had never been a gay leading character. But I felt that if anyone was going to do it, I should. And it's also, what I loved is, and also he's gay. Because I think that you can do more service by playing things down than by shoving them into a sort of
Well, let me just say, the impact you've had on the culture, I have to say, honestly, I am so much slimier since I was introduced to Eli Gold than I ever was before. So you really do have an impact. So, Donald Trump, there's a columnist in the Boston Globe that said, Alex Beam, for Lent, he is giving up Donald Trump. You're not a Trump fan, correct?
No.
Give us a sentence on Donald Trump in your estimation.
I think if you elect a clown, you're going to get a circus.
That's a good sentence. You were a Bernie Sanders supporter in 2016, yes?
Yes, I was.
Are you again?
No.
Who are you supporting?
I'm not sure if I would support Beto O'Rourke. I'm very inspired by him if he actually bites the bullet. I'm very excited by Kamala Harris. I have to say, my worry is, and I don't want to be ageist, but it's hard not to be when you realise what the kind of world we live in, and we need new, younger, positive energy. And also that, I did an interview recently with Cynthia Nixon when she was, talking about her running for governor.
Cuomo, yeah.
And she said a really interesting thing, which was the younger the voter, the more likely they were to vote for her, which was like left of centre. And that really inspires me. And so I feel like the younger the president we have, the more likely there is to be a more egalitarian and caring America.
Exactly the topic we discussed on our radio show today.
Oh, really?
Exactly that topic. Before you leave, I am obsessed with Sherlock. What is it that Sherlock in 2019, why is this?
I think, well-crafted mysteries. We all love a well-crafted mystery, but also someone who, I think we love our heroes to be flawed, and he's got such darkness and such hidden depths. And I think that's what makes a really great yarn, is someone who's telling you a story and leading you through it, but they have flaws too, and so they're vulnerable as well.
You excited about the upcoming season?
Of Instinct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am actually, because it was our second one and everyone kind of relaxed a bit. The network weren't so freaked out about the gay thing. And it's actually interesting. I feel my hair as a metaphor for the second season, because in the first one they made me colour it to look younger. And then I just looked like a middle-aged man with dyed hair. And now in the second season I have my real grey hair. And
I look like an older man with no hair. Nice Alan, it's an honour to meet
it's
you.
Really
Thanks
lovely.
so much. Love your work.
Thank you so much. You're very kind.
You can catch Alan Cumming and his mysterious eyebrow at the top of every episode of Masterpiece Mystery, including Unforgotten Season 3, which premieres Sunday, April 7th at 10 p.m., Endeavour Season 6, which premieres Sunday, June 16th at 9 p.m., and Grantchester Season 4, which premieres Sunday, July 14th at 9.